Hello everyone and welcome to the SFERA. Today we're here at Budapest, more specifically Corinthia Hotel, and we are visiting Graphisoft 2025 Ignite Conference. We are here to have discussions with our fellow colleagues, architects and other experts from various fields to discuss what is the future of architecture. More specifically, how the new technological developments influence architecture as a field, how it affects our role as architects, how it affects educational systems, cultural heritage, working processes, and so on and so forth. This will be a very fun and exciting project for us. This marks the start of our architectural podcast series. And if you want, be sure to check our links that will be there in the description of this video to check out what we did in the previous 2 years in the Serbo-Croatian speaking area. Once again, my name is Miljan Salata and welcome to the SFERA and the Ignite Conference. Let's go.
If you would like to hear more conversations, please check out the Ignite On Demand library located in the description of this video. Here, you can discover inspiring lectures and in-depth panel discussions with architects and BIM experts from around the world.
Luca, welcome to the SFERA.
Thank you.
We're having a conversation with Luca from Archilinea. And you had an amazing presentation yesterday, and you were talking about basically the whole process that went through during the design phase and the construction phase of the Lamborghini factory in Italy. And maybe you can tell us something about that. How you started, what were the challenges in the beginnings, and what kind of challenge did it present to you and to your studio?
For us was the extreme project, let me say, because when it happened some years ago, because we are talking about a project that was before COVID, it was something totally unexpected. And also the complexity was so high that no one at the beginning was able to understand it, to explain to the other the quantity and the difficulties, because when you make a master plan on where you are thinking in a urban scale, everything is put at the end in a PowerPoint. Yeah. And so are just squared or rectangular shapes or something like that. And so when you put over there the investment, the millions, the technology, the numbers, and you have to break down this approach with an aerial view, the first feeling is fear. It was my first feeling was opportunity, yes, but the second one was fear.
What were you most afraid of?
The dimension and the timing. The timing was declared on the newspapers. And when you have a brand so strong like Lamborghini, putting a milestone, setting a milestone on the newspaper, you have no second chance, no second possibilities. So
you're on the spotlight.
You are on the spotlight. And in that case, Lamborghini plus Audi are a mix of Italian and German people, managers and engineers and so on. So also the culture, it could be difficult because, we are very different. The collaboration was impressive and successful at the end, but during also you have to manage this.
Matteo Thun Partners is an office that works not only with architecture, also with interior design and product design. In those projects, so the Murano and the Torre Velasca, for instance, they are projects on historical buildings. Like the Murano one is a renovation project for like a part, and there is also a new construction in the same plot. And in that case, as office, we worked both for architecture and interior design, and then also in the end also with product design. And in the Velasca one, in the tower in Milan, it was just about interior design. It's not really a limit because interior design, when it's fully developed, is huge. So models, projects are really, really super specified. And we, as part of the BIM team, I think that our first issue that we have to understand and to deal with is to decide to understand which is the level of detail that we want to achieve in the end, and so align to the level of development of the end of the process. We need to create at the same level the model at the beginning of the existing building, so the historical really part.
I remember that meeting, it's very clear in my mind because this meeting had a name, and the name was "We Will All Die." Because one of our expert architects said that we will, hey boss, they call me boss. Hey boss, we will all die. Okay, this kind of setting that was not pessimistic but realistic, I have to admit, was realistic, was the first challenge that I met at the time, because for sure was clear that we had to have a staff heavily motivated and heavily optimistic. Even if they are not making the right choice or they are not able to understand the dimensions, it's better to be optimistic than realistic in this case, because the realism was not possible at all.
Yeah, we collect really all the information at the beginning, and then architects and interior designers, they use the model, the existing model, as the starting point. Yes. So all the research, all the data that we have are inside the model, and it's a huge amount of information to deal with. And
so Matteo, how do you balance this interpretation and let's say precision in the model?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because it depends on the project purpose. So the design, well, what is the purpose of the design that we have to deal with, and what kind of information we need to keep in the model or to write in the model for the design process, and even for the facility management of the building.
So you use your models all the way to the facility.
As studio, we work for the design phase, but at the end we submit the project model that become the starting point for the facility management.
Yeah, but you have that in mind already, that it will be used as a
because
facilitation.
we have to fulfill the information needed to I don't know how to say it, to end the project phase, and that information becomes the starting point for the facility management. So when we're starting with a project of a renovation, so on an historical building, we have first of all to know what are the geometrical complexity of the building, to understand how much detail we need to model in ArchiCAD, and what kind of approximation we can tolerate with the representation of the model that we need to draw through to have with our layouts, and also with the BIM model that we are going to publish from ArchiCAD to IFC model, and the very important thing is deal with the I of the BIM, so the information. So a lot of information we can storage a lot of information in the properties, in the metadata of the models that we are going to produce.
You have to build some kind of a system, you have to find people, but you also have to educate them along the process. And
yes, of course.
For me, when I heard that, I know how onboarding went in some of offices that I worked in, and I know it is a long process.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in how you approach that.
This was a second challenge that I haven't described over there, because when you take people, new people, you have to identify very fast the ability to grow.
So that was the key criteria.
Yeah. And in that period, I imagine a theory. It's a theory, it's mine, so probably it's wrong even. But in order to define very quickly how workers, colleagues, a professional is, I split in two different characteristics. So could be people that concentrate all the decision, or that just define the topic, the goal, and give freedom to the stuff. So, or you verticalize, or you just put the vision. And after that, the other characteristic is if you are people that set the goals, the list, the to-do list in order with priority, high priority, medium and low priority, or people that are very punctual, A, B, C, D, not in priority way. And you have to find these two, combine these two characteristics and make the team in an exact way. And if you can understand this characteristic of a professional architect engineers, you know where to put this professional, in which responsibility. And you can build every team with just these 4 parameters. I decided to approach like that, and it was a good approach, and I still, until now, I define all the stuff with this approach, and it works. I don't know why, but it's working.
So, Jessica, how you as a BIM manager approach this issue of having like different teams collaborating together, and what does working specifically in ArchiCAD allow you to do?
Well, the first issue that I have to deal with daily, of course, is about communication. Communication between people that are working in the same project, but from 2 different locations, so from 2 different offices. Or same office maybe, but in 2 different rooms or departments. It's quite tough. And it's tough also to manage the processes between all the people and how to deal with the steps that everyone is trying to do and achieve. Then in the end, the design, the goal of the design and the project itself. ArchiCAD is really a good solution in this, because we work, of course, every day with teamwork. We have just teamwork files. We don't use the solo files. And we really write each other a lot, just inside the file, just inside the platform ArchiCAD in the teamwork messages.
So sorry for interrupting you,
Yes.
just to kind of explain for maybe the audience who doesn't know what teamwork actually is. We know because we work daily in teamwork, and I love teamwork. I love collaborating. We also have a team that's like in 3 different cities. And when we do like projects or even competitions, we love doing it in teamwork because everything is live. There's no separate files. We're all together, but maybe you can explain better than me.
Well, it's a digital solution that is already inside ArchiCAD, and by using this solution, it's possible to work simultaneously, so live, in the same file. So not only in the same project, but really in the same file, working together with the same elements, the same walls. And just a Wi-Fi or internet is needed, and it's really impressive how then the process is fast, because then the time that is needed for a project is really reduced. But of course the technology is relevant, but I think that the most important part of these processes are the people. So people need to understand how to talk to each other, and how to deal with the technology and how to appreciate it. And yeah, we as BIMs, BIM nerds, we are the one that are trying to let everyone understand this.
When we talk about 35 different projects making the same parallel way, 10 bigger one and 25 secondary one, even small, very small, you are producing hundreds and hundreds of drawings. And so without BIM, it's first of all impossible to coordinate the drawings and the output, of course. And after that, we received during these 450 days of construction sites something like 500 requests of variants. And without BIM, I don't know how to approach. So the variant, I mean, plus than one for day, were immediately processed in the construction site because we were living over there, and given to the constructor the same day in order to change something and to update. And this was the only possible approach, even if no one at that time was able to manage 3D model or IFC by the constructor side. So everything was at the end delivered in PDF. But it's better because in that case was better because it was so fast that you have to give immediately some paper in hands to the constructors in order to make the modification.
Yeah, it's an interesting image you showed us, that you were basically, your team was in a truck.
Yeah.
And then you didn't want to go off the truck, you just moved on the site.
Yeah, yes, it was because we asked to have barracks that are big, because I mean, at the end, the team involved was 39 engineers and architects plus me as a responsible, so 40. And so these barracks were big, and at that time we are impacting a big plot that must be taken out to make urbanization, and so it was divided and moved by trucks. But our staff decided to do not go down from the barracks and was moved for the photo. It was a joke, you know, but was moving, and this photo taken.
I'd like to ask you about communicating with also other colleagues and communication with city municipalities, because obviously when you're working on historical projects, there are challenges in communicating what the architects are trying actually to do, what is the design. So can you maybe tell us in which way does it help you to use BIM models in that sense? Communicating with other colleagues, or communicating specifically, I'm interested in, have you ever used BIM in explaining the design to some officials that are responsible for protection of monuments?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. From the ArchiCAD model to share during a presentation to the BIMX with an iPad for different purposes, obviously. So maybe if you're working and you have a meeting with other designers, we share maybe directly the ArchiCAD file in which we are working, but if we are having a presentation for a client, we prefer to share a BIMX file because it's very easy to use also by the client by himself. So it helps to understand better the project, what we have designed, and this helps not only for the nerd ones, but also for people that are outside the technical stuff. So also clients or other people can understand, can go through the project and also play with the project. So understand the spaces,
To go inside of the whole space and understand it
Yes.
from a different perspective.
For me, the BIM model or the digital model in general is really helping this process being like questionable, because we can ask things to the model, and like I see every day architects and interior designers that they use the model and the information that we give to the existing model at the beginning in order to achieve a lot of different drawings, a lot of different diagrams, and or really graphically they explain things layer by layer, like adding the historical, like the story of the wooden beams in a building, or the paintings of the frescoes that are in the ceilings. They really like create every time new drawings starting from the model, just asking a simple criteria to the model, and in the end the documentation that is appearing for us is documentation, for them is the presentation, of course, is really fast to understand, it's clear, it's multidisciplinary, that is really relevant for us because we work in so many disciplines in the end. It can be it can be done specifically for a client or the administration. So in the end, the drawings, the diagrams that we are creating from ArchiCAD are it's the way to communicate better the design and all the design decisions that were made during the...
I mean, do younger colleagues, especially young colleagues, how did they react when they were on site, when they were seeing what they were actually designing and building?
They was on adrenaline.
Yeah.
And in front of that, you have to apply a project management theory. So you have to be very cold and secure, because you have to create a hot group. Hot group is a team that can resist for a defined period of time. And after that you have to unmount in order to do relax and share the people. So in this case it was very easy to define the approach, because the enemy was the project, the battlefield was the construction field, and the condition of victory were timing and delta time and delta cost. At the end was zero. So the condition of victory were taken at the end.
I think that working with ArchiCAD, okay, for us, we are the nerds, but it really helps. It really helps everyone to have always a link between the past and the future, because in the same place, in the same model, we can always see what was the starting point, so the existing phase, and then maybe all the development, because sometimes when you need to then build for real an hotel in a historical building, it's really important to be aware of which were the decisions and which was the starting point. Because at one point, when you are in the construction area and you need to create the new layers, the new interior design, you need to understand why things are in that way, were developed in that way, which were the stages between the existing and the new, and having all this information together in the same model, so everyone, the architect or the interior designer, in the same model, they can switch between past, present, and future is really a thing for us.
So first of all, we upgraded the hardware, PC, memory, RAM, and so on. Second choice was to put all the team together, even PC, moving, reshaping our studio, putting everything and everyone in the same big room. Of course, at that time, the BIM file was so big that was impossible to connect directly. So we have done the urbanization model, and we attach for every plot a building, a separate file for every plot. After that, as I said, our speed was not enough. So I was very strong defining the fact that all keyboards must be re-shortcutted in a video gamer way. So like the arrows, you have to have the arrows on the left hand. So WASD.
Yeah, you had the image of Fortnite. Are you shooter player or more strategic player or playing shooters? You said you're a gamer.
I'm a gamer. I play like Fortnite, but even strategic games.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can name it, but
yeah,
a lot of
it's
games.
fine. But like in general, because when you were explaining, because I'm playing shooter games, I know the commands, like you said, WASD and then the arrows. It's like the concepts taken away from that kind of movement and operation. Because in shooters you have to react very fast.
Yes. The shooter approach, it's exactly what we have in ArchiCAD until now, and applying also Control, Alt, Space, Caps Lock, and so on. So in our team, everyone is moving and commanding and elevate or making slabs and walls, and just with the left hand, always in the same areas, and with the mouse. You are
Do they
pointing.
still use this kind of shortcuts in studio?
Yes, of course. Everyone must.
Everyone must.
And when they are used, they cannot make anything else. Are not able to change this kind of shortcut because it's the best in the world.
Yeah.
Most proof.
Yeah, I once saw a guy, he was a good colleague and a friend of mine when I was working in China. And I was working on a PC and he was working in Rhino. And I just saw him almost like dancing with his hands, and he was moving so fast. And I was intern at that point, like freshman only, came out of college. When I saw that, I was so amazed. And I immediately approached him and said, "What are you doing, man?" And he said, "Nothing, it's just shortcuts."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I can send it to you." I'm like, no, like I'm not that experienced. He was like, "No, trust me, just try it for a day or two." And I tried it for 2-3 days. I was struggling, and on the fourth day, it just became natural. I didn't think about it.
There is a parameter. It's BPM, so beat per minute. And we until now we are working in 90, 10, and 90, 100 BPM for minutes. So.
Oh yeah. There is also one parameter I know when like professional gamers, they have something like clicks per minute or per hour, something like that. And if you want to like play some games, you have to go above certain click rate. So in order to be more efficient.
Yes, this was the approach. We are talking about projects. So this happens when the project decisions are done, and you have to draw just that, because you are not thinking, you are just in action, you are live.
Yeah. For us, like as a BIM manager, really for me, the challenge is not really just involving the information in the BIM processes. It's not about documents, it's not about regulations, it's really about people, and we are trying to teach continuously to people inside the office, and because of course the technology will help us, I think, of course. It will always be the same, it will always help us, but in the end, the most important processes are the human ones, the one that you can do, like really living together and being part of a team.
The most important project is to build ourselves like person, first of all, in an ethic way. So you have to be in a studio where the people have the same values of life. After that, the professionals are just skills that you can improve or teach or try to share, and so it's the second, and it's not the first topic. The first topic is the values. Second one is the professional, and at the end, if you do correctly these two, a big studio, a big team is born. So at the end, you have just to stay over there and give freedom to this professionality. My role now is not to lead, but to create opportunity in order to make them express.
Architecture today is shaped by more than buildings. It's shaped by ideas, tools, as well as people who connect them. That's why we invite you to register for Graphisoft Ignite Conference On Demand Library. Here you can discover inspiring talks by leading architects and BIM experts, real projects, real workflows, and real conversations about the future of design. Registration is free, and the knowledge stays with you. Follow the link in the video description, sign up in just a few simple steps, and explore the ideas shaping contemporary architecture through BIM, emerging technologies, and advanced workflows.